My name is Rita Grandelis. I am originally from New York, but I've been living in North Jersey for 23 years. I have been a social worker for 23 years, working in geriatrics the last 12 years. I am a licensed clinical social worker and a certified care manager. One story that stands out for me in my time working for Unicity is a client that I met for the first time last September. It's an 88-year-old female client who called Unicity actually over a year ago and spoke directly with our executive director, Yella Sango. Yella did a comprehensive intake for home health aid services and actually went out to visit this prospective client in her home. At the time, the client wasn't ready to start home health aid services or admit that she needed help, but held on to Yella's business card until last September. She kept it in her pants pocket, always close by her side, and called Yella last September to actually admit that she finally needed help and ask if Yella would come out to the home to assist in hiring home health aid and a geriatric care manager. Myself, as the Director of Geriatric Care Management, and Colleen, our Director of Nursing, went out to visit the client in her home to do an evaluation for home health aid and geriatric care management services together. When we arrived at the door, our client answered the door, but her breathing was very labored. Walking was extremely difficult for her. She barely could make it the 30 feet from her living room to the front door and back to let us in. Colleen was able to perform a comprehensive nursing evaluation, and we realized that she was in acute congestive heart failure. Colleen listened to her lungs. We did a quick physical exam, and we realized she needed immediate medical attention. It was very difficult because we'd never met her before, so trying to obtain information from her about her family and next of kin without alarming her too much about the severity of the situation. I was able to obtain from her the name and cell phone number for her nephew, who I called, introduce ourselves, explain what we were doing there, and explain the gravity of the situation. He was extremely grateful for the phone call, and it was decided immediately that we were going to call 911, which thank goodness that we did, because she was in congestive heart failure, an acute episode, and also had had a massive heart attack actually that day. So if it wasn't for Colleen and I being in the home, she would have never sought the medical attention she needed and probably wouldn't be alive to this day. She subsequently was admitted to the hospital. The family hired me on the spot as their geriatric care manager, and I helped them and the client navigate her hospital admission, her subsequent stay in an inpatient rehab center, and then made the recommendation that it was unsafe for her to continue living in the house by herself, even with a home health aider live-in, because the house wasn't set up for an older person to age safely in. And we were able to transition her to an assisted living that she currently is living in. And I still am involved on a weekly basis. I help manage all her finances, her long-term care insurance policy. I manage all her medical appointments, taking her out to the hair salon, anything regarding her house, including helping to pay the taxes, change the water meter, which we have an appointment for next week, and just manage anything regarding her affairs, as both her niece and nephew both work full-time and do not live local. So I've become an ancillary family member. And her family and her call myself and Colleen their angels, because they wouldn't feel that their aunt would be alive if it wasn't for us visiting that day in September.